Day 14, the periodic table of ions. What we have today is another memorization day. Unfortunately, this week is filled with memorization. And the reason why we memorize is so that we can learn how to name these chemical compounds later on in the class easier. And so what happens is if you can't name chemical compounds, it's extremely difficult to get your chemical equations correct. So I'm going to be spending the next 2 or 3 weeks working on how to name chemical compounds to practice with your naming. And I encourage you to continue working with your memorization of the periodic table. You know, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium. Make sure you know where they're positioned. Make sure you know the correct symbols and the names. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the periodic table of ions. And what an ion is essentially a charged atom. And so atoms that have a positive 1 charge, they're going to be located here in this first column. In the second column, they have a +2 charge. Over here, notice that this last column, that there are no charges, okay? And then we have in this column here, the one next to it, -1 charges. So we have pluses and minuses. Notice that the minuses are all the ones that are minus charge. Well, those elements are nonmetals. All the ones that are positively charged, well, those are metals. So metals form positive charges. Nonmetals form negative charges. And so what we need to learn is that all of the metals that have only 1 in the box, notice the sodium and magnesium, potassium and calcium and scandium, all of these elements that have only 1 in the box, they typically only form one type of charged atom, only one type of ion. And so if there's only 1 in the box, notice that the name of the element stays the same: potassium, calcium, and scandium. However, if we look at something like titanium, titanium has more than 1 in the box. And notice we have titanium 4 and titanium 3. That means titanium typically forms more than one type of charged atom, more than one type of ion. And so titanium 3 and titanium 4, those are common ions that are formed from titanium. Now, titanium could form others. I only have 2 in the box, but there are many others that could fit there possibly. And so what you should know is that this periodic table of ions is not a complete table. What it is just a sample to get you going. So if there's only 1 in the box, the name stays the same. Notice that titanium, if there's more than 1 in the box, like titanium, notice that we use these Roman numerals: titanium 4, titanium 3, vanadium 3, vanadium 5, chromium 3, chromium 2, manganese 2, manganese 4. We have, if there's more than 1 in the box, like a lot of these transition elements here, if there's more than 1 in the box, that means it forms more than one type of charge, and so we have to use Roman numerals. Notice over here though, aluminum, it's a +3, gallium's a +3, boron doesn't typically form a charge, neither does silicon or carbon. But nitrogen, notice that when it gains a charge, it gains an electron, notice that its name changes. It's no longer nitrogen, it's called nitride. Oxygen is called oxide. Fluorine is called fluoride. In other words, the name changes and it has this IDE ending. Hydrogen is changed to hydride, fluoride, chloride, bromide, iodide, oxide, sulfide, selenide, and phosphide. Notice that they all have that IDE ending. That means that they are a charged atom and they're negatively charged. So, if there's only 1 in the box and it's a metal, the name stays the same. If there's more than one in the box, then many others are possible, and the name changes to accordingly to the charge, and we have to use this Roman numeral. So titanium 4, titanium 3. Now remember again, there could be more than one of these. In other words, there could be titanium 2. This is the periodic table, and you need to memorize all the way up to 54. You need to kind of have an idea of how things are going. It's difficult to memorize the whole periodic table, I know. You memorize the periodic table to find all the elements, and then you find out today, what, now I have to memorize all these ions? Well, yes. Now, I say that because, if you memorize it, you're going to be able to answer problems so much more rapidly. But, if you need to keep your periodic table of ions handy with you, go ahead and keep your periodic table of ions handy. We're getting practice doing all this naming, and it's going to take some time. Just like naming all the elements, it takes a little bit of time to get going, and then once you get in the habit of it, you're like, oh yeah, you're going to use these elements so often that you can't help but memorize it. So you just got to keep practicing. And so keep your periodic table with you. And if you need a digital copy, there's one on the website. If you need a hard copy, you'll need to contact me. And so we can try to get you a copy to help you out. I want you to feel that you can totally own this concepts of chemistry, that you feel completely ready to dominate this field. I have no idea what amazing things are in your future, but I'm so excited for you, and I want to help you get there. So let me help you. Follow what I tell you to do, and I know it's painful, but please trust me, and let's work through this next few weeks, and then you'll see what I mean. So work hard.